Hi, this is Carol Douglas, and I'm going to give you a tour of my show that just opened at the Camden Public Library called Fantastic Places and Magical Realms. My last show was very much about a sense of place here in Mid-Coast, Maine. This is more about non-realistic things. So I'll give you a quick tour, and here we go. We'll start here. This is the only painting that's a repeat from the last show. It's called Termination Dust. That is what you get in Alaska, the first snowfall and the fall. It's always up at the top of the peaks. This is a personal favorite of mine. You're going to hear that a lot because there were a lot of them in the show. It's called The Late Bus, and it was sort of inspired by my son's after-school activities in high school, but also thinking about taking the late bus myself. Obviously, you're way up high looking down on a school bus that's going through a valley. This is the first glacier I ever painted, Athabasca Glacier. Gosh darn it, I'm not sure if it's in Alberta or British Columbia. I think it's Alberta. And if you have followed my travels, you know I went to Argentina and painted lots more glaciers there. This is Midnight at a Woodlot, and this painting was inspired by a flash of color that I saw on the Bear Mountain Parkway one day when I was driving back from New York City with my friend Mary. So here we have a little case. This is a painting called Little Village, and the only thing that I can tell you about that is actually kind of funny is that what inspired it is the back of the Walmart in Thomaston, Maine. So a few seasonal paintings. This we might recognize as your buddy Santa Claus. And my favorite tinfoil hat, also another favorite painting, but if Christmas doesn't make you crazy, what's going to? Happy New Year. And these paintings will be up until the New Year, so there you have it. This is a little Christmas deer outside my old house. And it, of course, has a double rainbow because it does. Tilt-a-whirl. The only reason it's in the Christmas case here is because it's red and I like the color. It's another personal favorite painting of mine. It's another fantastical experience for me. That is riding home at night on Christmas Eve. So we would go to my grandmother's house. She lived actually in South Buffalo, and at that point we were on a farm in Niagara County. But I always remember these long drives with lots of snow because it was inevitable that we were having a storm. And a few Christmas presents for the wee kids, the wee tots. So we'll go over here. This is at the end of the rainbow, and if you added a tractor and a dog and a pickup truck, it's pretty much everything I need in life. This is this little boat of mine, and I kept trying to make the title have a rhyme with brine, but I didn't get there. But needless to say, sometimes boating isn't all about good weather. One of two skylarking paintings I did. It's going to be a little hard to get that all in there. This is the first one. Skylarking off of Camden. Obviously not painted plein air because you can't paint boats under sail by plein air. This is my very favorite schooner, American Eagle, that I teach watercolor workshops on twice a year. And the painting is called Breaking Storm. That's Owl's Head back there. And it's obviously not a real time and place, but it is the end of a quick squall off on the ocean. Second, skylarking off of Camden. It's in a cherry frame. I forgot about that frame, and I really like it. This is called The Wreck of the SS Effie. And that actually is a shipwreck in Newfoundland, and a great story. I think you should look it up. Involves a Newfoundland dog and a baby. But the fantastical part of this is that a shipwreck like this is actually scattered over about a quarter of a mile of seashore. I sort of compressed it all into one narrow spot. This painting is called The Ocean Has Its Eye on You. And it's just surf and a rock, but it cracks me up because it looked like an eye, and that's all the explanation I could possibly give you for that. A wave, and this is the first oil painting I ever did off the deck of American Eagle, which is what inspired me to only paint with watercolor after that because I sort of made a mess out of Captain John's deck. This is a barber shop. It's called a Midnight Walk, and it's not a real barber shop. I thought about naming it Eric's Barbershop because everybody in Camden would know that's not Eric's Barbershop, but it's just a midnight walk. And this is a lonely cabin in the woods with snow. Here's an ice cream shack, and of course, because it's my ice cream shack, it's got the silhouette of a boat in the foreground, and maybe that's my Prius, I don't know. This painting is kind of hard to photograph. It's a little shiny still. It's actually still wet, but it's a hare in a hunter, and it's inspired by my friend Jane, who never mind. She wiped out a bunch. No, she just wiped out one hare in Argentina as we were doing our midnight flit. This is the last light of a day on a beach, and I think it's self-explanatory. We'll go over here. Just a little bit of snarking, which would be some palm trees here and here. And we don't have many of those in Maine, so this time of year, if you want to fantasize about palm trees, you better go south, which you could do and take my workshop in January in Tallahassee. This is called A Woodlot of Her Own, and boy, would I like one. So I sort of have a thing for woodlots as much as I do for boats. This is apple blossom time. I think it's self-explanatory. That is also right around the corner. And here is a garden in the evening. This actually is really a plein air piece of a home farm at, oh, for heaven's sakes, estate in, well, Winterthur. And the reason I included it in the show is that the colors are completely sort of nonsensical. It's not really what's there. And I sort of think it has a kind of a fairy tale quality to it because of that. Now we're getting into a little bit of my psychological state, I'm sorry. This is called Ravening Wolves, and these are wolves out to get you, and there are sheep on the hillside far away. Best Buds, which is a girl riding a merry-go-round with her best buds, her best bud, which is a deer. This is my current favorite painting, and that is Grace riding her unicorn. Grace is 5, and she's totally in control. Red buds and red osier. I've tried to paint the red buds of spring maples many times. It's extremely difficult to do. This is sort of another one of these fantastical views. It can't quite be real. This is a path in the woods after the Russian painter Kuiji, who painted a lot of these views where you could see through them, and I was just experimenting with that. It's not real. And Spring Alley is also not real, but it's just inspired by a place I used to ride my horse when I was a little kid. It's this alley off the Erie Canal. So this is the logging truck. If you've ever painted plein air, you know that sometimes it can be very dangerous to be on the roadside. And I had Grant Woods painting Death on the Ridge Road in mind. So there is this logging truck coming down here, and as you can see, you are right on the edge of the road where he isn't going to be able to stop. So you better get out of the way. Last but not least, a mountain path, which hiking is one of my great avocations, and then hiking boots and toilet paper to go with it. So I hope you can manage to come out. Thank you.